Okay, so tax reform is passed in Washington, D.C. Our own Orrin Hatch leads the charge. That's Kaltman's title of his book. Thought I'd use that. And it was promised to have huge tax implications and benefits for people in the state, across the country. But in Utah, 75 to 150 million is what everyone thought. But Lisa, is that really what's happening? What is the benefit for Utah right now from this federal tax reform?
You know, that is the $75 to $150 million question, right? Yeah. I mean, no one knows. That's the bottom line. I know that the State Tax Commission is working with Legislative Fiscal Analyst's Office and the Governor's Office to try to come up with a consensus on the impact. And no one can really explain where those big numbers came from initially. But the idea is because Utah uses federal income tax to calculate your state income tax owed, that somehow because of those federal changes, without somehow altering our own state income tax system as well, Utah was going to face this big windfall. And a lot of lawmakers are already talking about how to spend that. But we had the Senate President Wayne Niederhauser step up this week and say, we really don't know yet that there'll be anything.
So as a former appropriator in the legislature, Senator, what do you do with that? We have no idea. We think something's coming, but we might not. But give me an idea of what the legislator feels about these federal pieces anyway.
This is a huge mess because every year it's difficult because in February and March, you're setting a budget that will start that next July and go for a year from that point. So it involves so much guesswork. It's difficult in any situation. Now, throw into that, we have major tax reform that really was just cobbled together with maybe without a lot of rhyme or reason, just to kind of pass something. And so we don't exactly know what that bill will work. We don't exactly know what it contains. But then also people will react to that. I mean, people react to the tax code, so we don't know what those reactions will be. So the legislature and the governor's office, you know, they're very good at projecting, but I don't know how their numbers come very close this year.
So Brian, this confusion, is this a byproduct of a really bad process, or?
Well, you got to pass it to know what's in it, right? Yeah, it was a really bad process. If you remember, the Senate was handwriting notes on the bill as they were trying to pass it. They did it without a public hearing. And again, as the senator said, I think they had polling, or they thought they needed to pass something by the end of the year in order going into the 2018 election. So no one knows what this is going to do. They pass it. It went into effect like what, two weeks later. Yeah. Accountants are still trying to figure out what's going on. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. So, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, you'll see more money in your paycheck. Well, okay, that may be one byproduct, but when your tax bill starts to come due, and you really won't even see that for a while, you know, that's going to cause some real issues. So we're really not going to know the full scope of this, I think, for a year.
Lisa?
Well, and that's the problem, right? Because as the senator said, lawmakers are faced with putting together a budget that'll start July 1st based on anticipated revenues. And if you've got some people thinking it's going to be a huge amount and some people thinking it won't be any additional, you know, on top of the existing surplus and other monies available, growth monies available, I don't know how you listen to people coming in and asking you for money, right? Making a case. Well, wait a minute, you say you have this much money on the table. Why can't you fund my program? It's going to be an interesting session.
It will. We'll still be asking. Yeah. Thank you for your insight on this very interesting issue. We'll see what comes forward.